Switch it on.
Turn it on. You're tuned to Radio Kidnappers, the voice of Hawke's Bay. This is the program called The Wonderful World of Wardini Books. It is our pleasure, as always, to have in the studio the wonderful Lou from Wardini Books in Havelock North. How you going, Lou?
Very well, Ken. How are you doing?
Well, all the better for seeing you, that's for sure. And you've been flat out.
Yes, we have actually. School holidays, so it's been really busy.
That is good.
Yeah.
Anyway, you've got 3 more great books to review for us this week. And the first one is called Flock.
Flock by Gemma Cooman. And you can just see a little tiny person. Mm-hmm. Is it a tiny person and a big bird? Or,
yes.
Let's find out.
Indeed.
Okay, flying on a bird within a flock. And so this is actually a tree keeper adventure. And the tree keepers are tiny, tiny, tiny people who look after the trees.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah. And they're all busy. They polish the buds, harvest the fruit and collect the dew, nurture and mend, gather and tend. That's what the tree keepers do. But little Sylvia is a tree keeper. They're only tiny and their heads are the size of hazelnuts. That gives you a bit of scale.
Yes, it does.
And
yes.
Look at them. They all muck around and have a great laugh and play together, and they're playing catch the acorn, twig tag and tug the vine. But Sylvia doesn't like it. She doesn't like the noise and the crowd, and she just potters about and does her own thing and collects the things that she likes to collect. And she's got this secret little space where she keeps all her things, and she seems quite content. And then one day there is a baby bird who is in need of a bit of attention, and he's invaded her secret space. And she's a bit, well, you can't come here, but then he really needs her. He needs her, and so even though he's noisy and messy and always, always hungry, as babies are, and some of us,
yes, indeed.
She nurtures him and she looks after him, and they become really good friends. But he can do something that she can't do, because he can fly. And she plucks up courage, they're being the same size, and she jumps upon his back and off they go.
Off they go, yeah.
But what happens is that he finds his tribe. They have adventures. And then look at that gorgeous picture.
Look at that flock.
They're starlings.
Yes.
And if you've ever seen the videos of starlings roosting, or with your own eyes, because we do see them in smaller flocks, don't we, down here? That's what they're in. They're in the flock, and they have this grand adventure, and he takes her home, but she knows he's found his tribe, so he's got to go back to them. And she's quite sad for a bit, but the next time somebody asks her to play, she says yes.
That is so nice, isn't it?
It's gorgeous, and so she finds her tribe. And I think that's lovely. It's again, like most children's books, it's just a lovely story. But then if you have got a child that's a bit of a loner, and it's not always necessary to have great swathes of friends, is it? I think if you've got one or two. But, I think loneliness is a real problem.
Yes.
And it's sad to think that children might be lonely. So just saying yes and taking a few social risks sometimes.
Exactly. No one wants to be lonely. And I can see by reading their book how little ones might believe with their imaginations that there are little fairies at the bottom of the garden.
Yeah, but there are, aren't there, Ken?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because I'm sort of quite childlike inside my head.
Yeah. Well, Roald Dahl said those who don't believe in magic will never find it.
Exactly right. Are you sort of childlike in some ways?
Yeah, I believe in Father Christmas.
So do I. And I always think you should never tell your kids to the contraire.
Well, why would you?
Exactly. No presents otherwise.
Yeah.
And the next book is called The Good Thieves.
The Good Thieves, I'm very excited about this. This is by Catherine Rundell, and she's won the Costa, which is a big award. She won that last year or the year before for the Explorer, the children's part of that award. And this is for kids of probably about 9 and up. It's got a lot of danger in it. So this is about Vita, and she's come across to New York from the UK with her mum because Grandad Jack, he has been swindled out of his home. He is a recent widower, and they've come across to try and help sort out his affairs, and they're going to take him back to the UK and look after him. But they get there, and he's stuck in this attic apartment somewhere, and Vita takes one look at him, and he's lost all his sparkle, all his joie de vivre, and she's like, that's not my granddad. And so she formulates a plan. She's going to sort out the bad guy who has swindled Grandad Jack from his castle, because there's a family castle that was brought over stone by stone from France generations ago, and Grandad Jack has managed to lose it. So really it's about Vita, who had polio as a very little child and has got a twisted leg, and she's in pain quite a bit at the time, and it's just about her and how nothing will stop that kid. And they're just across the road from the Carnegie Hall, where a circus is in full flow, and she gets up really early one morning because she's trying to figure out a plan about how she can get this castle back and sort her granddad out, and she sees this kid joyfully riding at huge speed a horse down the road, and she's like, wow, I have to meet him. And then on another occasion she sees a boy doing a backflip out of a window, and then she meets all the people that she needs for her plan to succeed. And so eventually she's got a pickpocket, an acrobat, and a horse whisperer, an animal whisperer.
Yes.
And it's a grand adventure. There is real danger in there because the bad guy, I think his name's Salvatore, I've forgotten a little bit, but I think that's his name, who's the swindler. He's dangerous. I mean, the references to him, like, knocking people off and burying them under the concrete, that kind of thing.
Yes.
So even though it's a kid's book, there's real danger in there. And I think that's all for the better, because if you meet the bad guys in a book, you're more prepared for them in real life.
And it's a page turner, you just can't put it down?
It was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't matter that it's written for that age group. Like, anyone could read it.
Yeah, too right. Sounds like a good one. And we're going to finish on a book called The Chain.
Oh my God, this one's incredible. So this is by Adrian McKinty. It's quite a new one. It only came out yesterday, the day before. And gosh, trying to explain this one. Right, so somebody kidnaps your child. Then you get a phone call saying, I've got your child. We know what's happening. You're going to get another phone call in a minute. And basically what has to happen, your child has been kidnapped. In order for you to get your kid back, you've got to kidnap somebody else's child. And then when that person is kidnapping another child, then your child will be released. So there's a chain that goes on, and the person in charge of the chain keeps saying it's not about the money, it's about the chain. And if you bugger up the chain in any way, shape or form, the child gets it.
Oh no.
So it's just the most incredibly complex way of doing things. And people, so we've got Kylie, who's been kidnapped, she's 13. Her mother Rachel, who's a divorcee, just been out of cancer for a year, cancer free for a year, so they've had a really bad time. Then the kid gets kidnapped and she's like, well, I can't kidnap a child, and threaten it, and threaten the parents that I will kill your child, and all that kind of thing. But what's she going to do?
Sounds like a gruesome book.
It's quite gruesome, but because it's edge of your seat stuff the whole time, because you've got normal people who are having normal lives, quite nice, pleasant people, forced to do the unthinkable, because what do you do? It's your kid.
Yeah. So how would you rate that book out of 10?
For thrills and spills and on the edge of your seat, I can't put it down. Yeah. So it's got to be a sort of, I'll say a tentative 9 or a 9.5 out of 10.
I bet you can't wait to get to the end to see what happens.
No, see, I'm that close to the end, so I can't even give you any spoilers.
No, you can't say whether it's good news or bad news.
No.
That's going to make a good movie.
It could do, actually. I don't know. Sometimes it's just nice for things to play out in your head.
Yeah,
The Good Thieves would make an incredible movie.
It would.
Yeah.
Good on you, Lou. As always, our pleasure to chat with you. Just remind our listeners before we let you get back to work, if we want to come and see you for a good book, where are you guys?
We're Wardini Books, 16 Tomato Road, Havelock North, and 44 Hastings Street, Napier.
Take it easy. Talk to the same time, same place next time.
Thank you.